So what happens when you start to preach a Bible verse every day for the next 30 days on your social media account? Well, let me tell you about that. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. We here are trying to reconnect with God through the exploration of His Word. And today I want to fill you in on this crazy experience I had doing this 30-day challenge. So I chose to do this entire challenge on Instagram and /Facebook. I don't know if you know, there's people that are not familiar with Instagram. They have these stories that last 24 hours. And they're basically 15-second clips that you can upload to your story that any person that has followed you on your account can see. And then it disappears forever. So let me tell you a little backstory about this. How did this all happen? Well, a good friend of mine was doing a live stream. His name is Joshua Ververs. He's another fellow YouTuber here that has been doing great work over the course of the last year and a half. Great guy, check him out. His channel will be in the description below. Also will probably be at the end of this video.
So let me know, are there people that you see that are really just leveraging social media for kingdom purposes? Are there people that you've come in contact with, that you watch or that you visit, that you're scrolling through, that you're following? Are there these people out there that are just exemplifying who Christ is through their social media journey?
So by him just explaining that he was looking for individuals that were doing those types of things, I decided, why am I not one of those individuals? So I stepped out in faith and I committed myself to do a 30-day challenge where I just taught Bible verses to the people that would listen to me on my social media. And it was incredible. But doing this verse of the day actually did some crazy things for my spiritual life. I think I can break down the whole experience down to about 3 major factors. And the first one most definitely has to be engagement. The engagement I got from doing these stories was something that's just quite incredible. I mean, on average, and at the highest point, I was reaching about 72 people. At the lowest point, I was still doing about 41 people. So let's do it like this. If we take the whole average of the last 30 days, I'm actually equaling out to about 51 people consistently on my stories. And a little less than half in that were actually faithful people that followed through the entire stories and that were actually committed. I think it's somewhere around the number of about 21 people. And with those viewers, I was, at least in the very beginning when I first started the experience, I was averaging a brand new message or 2 every single day. I put out a new Bible verse of the day. A lot of the time it was blessings, saying, thank you for this verse, this is something I really needed to hear today. Others were just encouraging me, keep doing this is really spiritual, it's really benefited me. And other messages I got were people asking questions about the Bible verses themselves. But all in all, I think you can see that the need was out there. Whether they were religious or non-Christians, atheists, all that kind of thing, people out there wanted to know about Bible verses. They were all interested. Do you see this right now? Foggy. Foggy because it's so humid here in Minnesota. It's terrible. Can't feel nothing. But the second part to all that is the spiritual growth that happened by doing the Bible verses. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean the implications of doing these Bible verses every single day, and specifically doing Bible verses. I felt very accountable for the things I was talking about. You see, I felt responsible for everything that I was saying, and I didn't want to say anything that wasn't true. It helped me to dig deeper into the Bible verses that I was reading. I wasn't just mere reading the surface thing and then looking at it in context. I was cross-referencing. I was looking at the definitions of things. Like, I put in the work to truly understand the full context of the verse, and even what it was talking about. I looked at some history stuff. Like, it's just crazy. Like, my spiritual life in that sense, that doesn't happen often, at least for me. When I read in my devotionals in the morning, that just doesn't happen as much. And I think it doesn't happen as much in the sense that because I was doing it for others, I put in more work. Usually when we read, we're trying to figure out what God is saying to just us and how it applies to me so I can be better, so I can help other people. This was strictly trying to do better for other people. And by helping them, it truly was starting to change me. There's a verse in the Bible that Eric Isaiah said in one of the Global Mission trips, and I think I've already brought mention to it. But it's in the book of Proverbs, and it says, he that waters himself shall also be watered. And I definitely have felt that through doing these Bible verses. Now, even with all of that, and look, we're matching. Ha ha ha. But with all that being said, the third thing and the last final thing would definitely have to be the community that came from doing this. At the end of my 30-day journey, I decided to reach out and ask if there was anybody else that wanted to take the torch and also take the plunge to do the 30-day challenge. And lo and behold, there was about 2 individuals that did, and they're actually continuing on that work. Now, you may think to yourself that 2 people isn't a whole lot of people, and that's definitely not a community, but I'm talking about all the people I got to minister to. The whole average of 21 people total, like that's the community that I'm talking about. And if those 2 individuals continue on and continue to do this challenge, then they're putting out verses for the next 30 days. And that's not to mention how many people they can potentially reach. I mean, if I was reaching around 71 people, what if someone that has more followers than I do reaches 150? And if they're reaching 150, maybe their average is gonna be a lot more than 21. I mean, that's just, simple math basically breaks it all the way down to innumerable options. Like, it's that powerful. But here's what I wanted to get at with this whole challenge. That evangelism doesn't have to be done through only our pastors and done only through people that are Bible workers that have long experience or been in Christian schools or colleges. Evangelism can be done with any individual under any circumstance, and it's so obtainable now through social media, through our cell phones. 80-90% of the population has cell phones, and 89% of those people are probably spend a lot of their time in their cell phones. So here's my call to action to you. If this is something that you're interested in, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, engagement speaks for themselves, community, spiritual growth, it is all there. Give this a shot and commit to it. And give it 30 days, give it 40 days, give it 15 days. I think great things can come of it. Okay, well that's all I got for you today. I want to say thank you for watching this entire video and going on with this adventure with me. It's been incredible, and if there's something I forgot to mention, anytime I got to a Bible verse, I always prayed beforehand. I was not doing things intentional. I really allowed God to lead me and talk about things and truly put Him first before I did anything else. So if that's a word of advice for you trying to start this kind of challenge, single-handedly, the best tip I can give you, put God first and God will lead. And I hope I see you in the next video. But if you don't see me, chances are I'll be at the Savior's feet. See you guys later. Well, welcome back to the very last Bible verse of the day. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to do a verse out of the book of Isaiah, and this one's coming from the guy that kind of started me on wanting to do this project, Joshua Rivers. This is one of his favorite verses, so let's get into it.